Hello everybody and welcome to the patch note of the open beta 0.32 The Hunt. Now we have a lot of exciting new cards and balance change and I'm really excited for it. So let's get into it. So first thing first, this patch should come next week on the Wednesday if everything goes well. So yeah, just for those of you who were wondering. So Egon Outcast, it's a neutral melee unit, which is a 4 mana 4/4 common, and his war cry is to swap the attack and the health of a unit. You know, it's going to be cool. 4 mana 4/4, it's decent body. And yeah, so it's going to be easy to remove things like Venus that are annoying. If you have a little like something with that deals 2 damage but can't kill her. You can also make it like if you have a high attack and low health, like for example, Sobek that you buff and is really big, you can just switch it so his health is really high again. Then you want him to survive more. There's a lot of shenanigans you can do for that. It's 4 mana though for the effect. You know, it's okay. Maybe I would have put in a 2 mana guy just so you really have the effect that shines. But oh well. I mean, I'm glad we have a card like that at least. Then we have Occult Deadeye, which is a neutral also, and it's a range units, 5 mana for a 4/4 rare, which is a really good body to be honest. And Afterlife, it returns a random god from your graveyard and reduces its cost by 1. Return it's to your hand. So yeah, basically, it gets some value, and if you only play some certain gods, it's going to be really, really powerful. And it's not a bad 5-drop for, like, to be honest. So if it gets silence, you do lose that cool ability, but it's not that big a ability. You still have a 4/4 range unit. You have Siege Master, which is also a range unit. Then we have Siege Master, which is a neutral range unit also, and it's a 3 mana 4/1 common, and you destroy 2 structures with his war cry, basically. Is that good? It's like a counter to Hindu or like Infernal Cannon or Runestone of Ire, but the more structures there's going to be in the game, maybe we'll see it. It's 3 mana 4/1 range. I mean, dies to a lot of stuff, but again, it's really specific to destroy structures. We have Sellsword, which is also neutral, and it's a melee unit, 3 mana for a 3/3 common, so basic. And your war cry is heal your summoning stone for 3. Basically, the option you had to heal was Blade Master, and now it's Sellsword basically. It's like the same ability, exactly the same, but on a worse body. Then we have Tusky, which is the ultimate in Smite of Artemis, for those who don't know, which Smite is a MOBA. It's a melee unit, 3 mana beast, 4/2 common, and it war cries, it moves it to a random enemy unit and it stuns them. It's basically what it does in the MOBA. That's why that's the ability of Tusky. And yeah, 3 mana 4/2 and beast, it's really good, especially that you can control the stun, right? If you remove the other stuff, so it may be like that's maybe an upgrade, because think about it, the 3 mana slot you only have Elder RP right now, so this is another option that you can run. And if you already have White Tiger or Hyena on board, then it's like free damage because they're probably only going to have 1 unit, or free trades, which is really, really powerful. We're gonna have Jitaji, which is a Chinese melee god. It's gonna be a 5 mana 5/5 epic, and Warcry, it gives a beast +2/+2. So we really see the Chinese, having the beast synergy with some of their cards, and like Daji is literally that, and that's really, really good. Especially like if you can curve that with a Stone Guardian, how we can Nugwe, even with a Chao Fang, really, really good. We have Inferno, which is Chinese, a spell 10 mana common, deal 8 damage. That's it. Deal 8 damage to whatever you want. But it's not a legendary, it means you can run 2 of that, and you can run Dragon King, and you can literally do 24 damage in 3 cards. So yeah, that's a thing. I mean, it does cost you 3 turns to do that, and you have to go to the late game, but still. Then we have Artemis, which is a Greek god, range 7 mana 4/5 rare, and a war cry, reveal the top card of your deck, and it deals damage equal to its cost to an enemy. And you can, yes, kill the summoning stone with that. And so if you're playing high cost cards, that's going to be good. But what's the worst that could happen is probably going to be a 2, like Judgment or Nemesis. It's okay at that point. But then you get, 4/5 range, which is really, really powerful. And we have a Greek card, Shock and Owl. It's a spell 3 mana rare that you silence an enemy and you trigger a friendly god's war cry. This is really good for Athena, for Tathos, for all of the good war cries like Ares that Greek has. Then we have Bacchus, a Roman melee god, which is a 4 mana 4/4 rare, which is really important because except Cupid, they didn't have a good drop in the 4 slot in their pantheon. And at the start of your turn, Bacchus drinks his wine and gets additional random effect, and there's 4 of them. He can gain Protect 1, which is really good for survivability, +1/+1, which is really good for survivability, attack hits adjacent enemy, which is okay if you have good positioning, especially with like being able to blinking. Since it's Roman, it's going to be really useful. And immune melee, which is the best one, right? So it's really, really good. If you have one, you cannot get duplicates of the additional random effects, if you're wondering. So after like 4 turns, going to be all of that, and he's not gonna get anything. Yeah, exactly. War Burden. It's a Roman spell, 3 mana common that you target a unit, and the owner cards cost 1 more until the unit is removed from play. So basically, they have a cannon and they can't move it because they want to play on curve. And you just, put the war burden onto them, and all their stuff costs 1 more. Which is kind of okay, I guess. That could be really good. I'm gonna have to experiment with it. We have Grave Dig Mayan. Wait, no, it's Grave Dig, which is a Mayan card, or spell, should I say. For 1 mana, and it's a rare, you discover a card from your graveyard. So it's really similar to, oh, this is a card. I can't remember. Barter's Soul. Yeah, that's the card. That is 2 mana, you sacrifice 1 of your units, and then you draw 2 cards from your graveyard. I think this is better, because 1, you don't have to sacrifice something. 2, it's 1 mana. You do only get 1 choice, but it's a choice between 3 cards. So you get the best of the 3, right? While the other, you couldn't choose, and you had to sacrifice something, and it cost more mana. So yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit better. Probably going to replace the other. And if you want, you can play both though. Now, Agni got changed, basically. It now costs 4 to play the first time. His Warcry is to deal 1 damage to enemy units, all enemy units, basically. His attack got reduced from 4 to 2, and his reincarnate cost is now 6 instead of 7. And his reincarnate Warcry deals 2 damage to all enemy units. Meaning that finally they have a board clear. Not only 1, but 2, and not only 2, but 4 if they draw their 2 Agnis. So that is exactly what Endu needed to survive the rush or anything. And at 4 mana, it's like a Khepri. It's basically like a Khepri, but with a better body, because you're a 2/4 range, and Khepri is a 1/4. You don't heal, but for defensive, healing was not really what you want when playing Khepri against a rush deck. It was really the 1 damage AoE, and he's gonna have 1 damage and then 2 damage if he dies, so which is really good. And 2/4 is also a good body. Aspect of Life, which is a spell 2 mana rare that you discover a 1/1 clone of a random unit in your hand. And this is going to be really good because, like, think about it. Get like you have Kali, then you can get a Kali from that, and then you play your 1/1 clone of a Kali for its war cry, and then the Kali dies, and you reincarnate and get another Kali, so you can play 4 Kali. So it's going to be really good. Even with Ravana, it's a little bit less good, but then when he dies, you get the really powerful Ravana in your hand. So anything that you can clone with reincarnate is going to be really powerful. Shards of Bomb, it's Hindu also, and it's spell 1 mana common that you deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of structure you control. So this is removal if you're going with the full structure deck, which I guess is going to be cool. Probably. You're gonna have to try that for sure. And it's going to be good in structure decks, that's for sure. And we have a new feature, guys. It's going to be Dex, Search, and Filter. So this patch we're introducing a robust deck builder search and filter system with multiple options to sort through your collection. All filters options are toggleable, so player can identify exactly what type of card they want in their deck. The filter is accessed in your collection menu by selecting the filter icon next to the Descent extra option. The deck builder search and filter allows players to sort through the following options. So you can search, look up any card by name or card text. You can include unknown filter, include owned golden filter, mana cost filter. Players will be able to select multiple mana costs when using this filter. Then you have type filter, beast structures, god leader, rarity filter with free common, rare, epic, legendary, and a keyword filter with afterlife, banish, charge, discover, guard, immune, melee, protect, range, reincarnate, root, silence, stealth, stun, and warcry. And we have a new queue also coming with this patch. There's going to be the Gauntlet. So everything is online in our new game mode. The Gauntlet is comprised of 4 additional queues that the players can compete to earn unique reward with each patch cycle. Every patch will feature 4 separate game modes variants with different requirements that change the way you build your decks and play the game. Compete against other players with the goal of reaching 8 wins, but be careful, 1 loss and your runs end. Players will only have a single entry per day into each of the 2 active gauntlets, so plan your decks carefully before entering. So, more details. Only decks created from your collection and meeting the dex requirement will be eligible for use in the Gauntlet. This must be done before entering the queue. Rewards will be granted to players who achieve 8 wins, and from Monday 5 AM to Friday 5 AM, player will be able to access 2 weekday gauntlets, and at Friday at 5 AM to Monday at 5 AM, players will be able to access 2 weekend gauntlet. So you have 2 in the week, 2 in the weekend. After a player has won or lost a specific gauntlet type, they will not be able to enter that same gauntlet again until the daily cooldown resets. So you have 1 chance each day. So the Hunt Gauntlet rotation, it's going to be Pauper, Dive and Battle, Prodigal, and Pantheon Wars. So let's see. Weekday Gauntlet 1 Pauper. Players can only create decks that are comprised of free and common cards. Your reward: for 8 wins, you get a Chang'e QZ Avatar, plus 2 core packs, plus 100 favor. Then we have Weekday Gauntlet 2, Dive in Battles. Deck must contain at least 10 gods cards from Norse, Greek, or Mayan. Players can only queue with Norse, Greek, or Mayan decks, but they must contain at least 10 gods. Okay. And reward: for 8 wins, you get Cutesy Scotty Avatar, plus 2 core packs and 100 favor. Then we have, for Weekend, Prodigal. Player can only create decks that contain a rare, epic, or legendary card. This means that no free or common card can be used. And your reward is a cutesy Freyja Avatar plus 3 core packs plus 150 favor, which is more than the other 2. And the same for the weekend, you get more reward basically, because the weekend Gauntlet 4 is a Pantheon Wars, Egyptian versus Chinese. Player can only queue with Egyptian or Chinese deck. This means that all other Pantheon are not allowed in this queue. And your reward, for 8 win, it's a cutesy Bastet Avatar plus 3 core packs plus 150 favor. General, we have some changes also in there. That's a huge patch, guys. So, um, quick open packs. So we have a quick option for players to open their card packs instantly instead of waiting for so long. Players can either select the button or press the spacebar to use the quick open feature. So you don't have to just sit down through that animation always. There also is unit bars, added an icon for silence on unit bars. So, where you can see the abilities like charge or like, what is it, afterlife. If you silence, then you have an icon also for that now, which is really cool. Because sometimes you can forget easily that it's silence. In the collection, they clean up text formatting for deck names, and they added a delay when mousing over a unit inside the collection menu, and unit no longer say their voice line in the collection screen. So when I start or end my video or search my collection, you won't hear all the background noise of the god screaming. Turn timers. This is actually a big one. Turn timers has been reduced from 80 seconds to 70 seconds. So now you have less time to make a big play. I don't know if I like that. We started the game in the alpha stage with 2 minutes. And sometimes we really needed that. But the game, they did change some things of the game and now it was a little bit faster. So it went down to 90 seconds and then to 80 seconds. And now we're at 70 seconds. Is there a point where we're only going to have a minute, like 60 seconds? But yeah, like if your opponent's AFK, at least it's going to be 10 seconds less. So you're going to win 30 seconds over 3 turns. Tooltip, clean up text formatting for keywords, tooltip on cards, okay. And then balance. And we have a lot of balance changes, and we're going to go through this together. So, Annihilation is an Egyptian card, all of that. It deals 4 damage to the whole board when you play it, and it was really powerful, and it got nerfed. Instead of costing 6, it now costs 7 mana. And it was like that before. It was still really good. I mean, now it's still going to be really powerful, but I don't know if it's still going to be the best card of the game. Probably still. Anubis, I never saw this nerf coming, to be honest. His attack got reduced from 4 to 3, and his health was reduced from 5 to 4. Maybe just because they wanted to nerf Egyptian. I don't know, but it's the legendary card. It was really good. I mean, yes, but that's what legendary cards are. So now it's 5 mana 3/4. Seems really weak though. At least a 4/4. No, I don't know. Aphrodite, is Warcry is no longer removed from a friendly unit when Aphrodite is killed. And you can no longer target Summoning Stone. So that's kind of a nerf. That's kind of a buff. But I think that the nerf is harder than the buff though. Because protecting your Summoning Stone from aggro deck was really, really useful. Now you can't. And it's sad. Bakasura. Ignore protect on return damage. I mean, it was more than a bugs than anything else, but I guess. Maybe, yeah. I guess it's a balance change. Blight, mana cost increase from 6 to 7, along with the nerf from Annihilation. But this nerf is bigger. Why? Because Annihilation, like, okay, you had 4 mana left, you played like an Anher, and that was it, right? With Blight, you played that, and you were able to raise the grave on the same turn. And with that nerf, you're no longer able to do that, which is a much bigger nerf than the Annihilation nerf. But yeah, I understand. He has to go along. Now, Blood Bond no longer leaves behind zombies. So now you don't auto lose to zombie into you play something, they Blood Bond, they raise the grave, and they just kill you. Right? So at least now you're not going to auto lose to that start when you're playing against Mayan, which I think is really good. It is a really big nerf though to the card itself. The Bracken health reduced from 7 to 6. That's so much health on that guy for a 4-drop. And his ability, it was, I'm gonna agree with that Bracken nerf. Even though I think Mayan was Bracken. I love it. Freyja, target reduced from 4 to 3. Yeah, she's going to be a little less controlly, but still, most of the time you get 2 targets or sometimes 3. 4 was really rare and was really powerful of a swing, so I'm gonna agree with that also. Kali, Now kills units with 5 or more health. I mean, yeah, the only unit she couldn't kill was like Anher. That was relevant, I mean. And Anher would cancel Kali's war cry, so like, yeah. Now at least with that nerf, she's going to be missing some units in that has 4 health, so I guess, yeah, she's still going to be really effective. And she's the only single removal they have to kill big health units, so she's still going to be really, really OP. Like this, it's almost not going to be seen for real. Leon and Hydra, mana cost increased from 6 to 7. I mean, so hard to kill. I'm glad for that nerf. Pillar of Creation. The avatars no longer die at the end of your turn. The avatars no longer have charge, but the avatars are 2-1 instead of 2-2. But this is going to be much more consistent, and now the Pillar deck is going to be a little bit better. I think this is a big buff, and I'm definitely going to try it. Pillar of Earth. Your war cry now deals 1 damage and you root an enemy, and your enemies still have 1 less movement. So you play 2 of them. The range unit can't move, and the melee unit moves up zombie, which is really powerful, but how many times are you going to have both of them out? Pillar of Fortitude, which is the one that gives health, no longer stacks. I mean, Pillar of Fortune to Pillar of Creation, pretty good. You have 2 3s. So yeah, instead of giving +4 health, you still give 2. Instead, yeah, exactly. If you have 2 in play. Pillar of Parity, increase health from 1 to 2. I think that was the one that if your opponent plays something, it countered it, but I'm really not sure. But Parity seems like counter, so yeah. Pillar of Passions, enemy cards because 1 more mana, which was actually the case already. But yeah, at the start of your turn, you draw another card. Now, if you're playing a lot of Reincarnate cards, you don't need to draw more because you're going to have way too much cards in hand. But if you're playing like a Pillar heavy deck, I think this is going to be really good. Yeah. The problem with a Pillar deck is like you start to like losing, like you start to lose the good spots on the board to place pillars. Pillars of Life, which is the ability of Hindu leader, which is Ganesha, now heals at the end of your turn instead of the start of your turn. So you actually now do something, even if you play it in range of their unit. So I think this is really good. There's a lot of buff to Hindu, as you can see. Now Soul's gonna okay, I'm gonna say that Soul nerf, I just love it because it makes it different from Hu Yi, and Hu Yi was just feel like a horse soul, and they were both gods. But now this is really cool. Attack now deals 1 damage to adjacent enemies. So even if you have like a 4-5 soul because you buff it with Winged Demon, if you attack the summoning zone, it would only splash 1 damage around, and this is so much better. And I think that, I don't know if they're gonna add it or not, but it seems like she couldn't attack Summoning Stone for some reason that they say on the Twitch show, but I guess maybe they weren't sure. And yeah, like all these changes are not sure. All the numbers are not final. Also, should have probably said that at the start of the video, but yeah. Thought, it's getting attack reduced from 3 to 2 and health reduced from 5 to 4, because basically it was like almost never fighting. He would just putting in the back and just use his ability and abuse it. Dropping the health is the biggest nerf that's going to apply, since it's going to be a little bit easier to remove, like a bludgeon and he's dead, or like annihilation. But yeah, there's a lot of nerf on Egyptian. Vamana is increased base stat from 1 to 3. So yeah, it's going to be at least more playable. And now it's definitely better than Bakasura, right? Since both are 3 mana and both have Reincarnate. But there's one that you play 3/3 body and then a 3/3 body that protects, but that's not really always helpful. It's like rarely useful. While Vamana is going to be a 4/4 after. And especially with the nerf to Blade Master, you're going to see less Blade Master, meaning that Vamana is going to be more powerful because, being a 4/4 body doesn't get counter as hard by He was getting countered hard by Plane Masters, but now not anymore, since you're gonna get 3/3 body and a 4/4 body, and it's going to do AoE damage. So yeah, I really like the buff to the mana. Now it's going to feel like an epic card. So bug fixes to finish this patch. Notes: we have fixed an issue where the Hindu Pantheon quest was displaying an error message instead of the quest details, and I'm sure all of you have experienced that, like at least half of you. Fixed an issue where Sun Wukong Eagle form was only adding +1 movement instead of doubling hit. Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. So yeah, fixed an issue where international versions were not properly displaying spawn units tooltip, and these were fixed in the hotfix. It's cool that we have it here still. Fixed an issue where Pillar of Creation did not have a spawn unit tooltype. Fixed an issue where several units had missing an incomplete keyword in their description. Fixed an issue where multiple units effect will not appear in the combat log. That was annoying. I hope that the discover cards will now show you in the combat log what was discovered. I hope this is part of that bug fix. Fixed an issue where Ares pulling Inferno Cannon would cause Inferno Cannon to deal return damage. Yeah, that was actually me that told them that. I was like, I just pulled a cannon and my Ares just took damage after I pulled the cannon. And like the cannon was stunned after, and my Ares was like still sleeping and got hit. It was so funny. I don't even know if maybe it was on stream. Yeah, it was really weird. I'm glad they fixed it. Fix an issue where Pillar of Retribution would proc when changing ownership. Okay, that's funny. Fix an issue where Bekasur is unable to go through immunity and protect. I meant that's probably the bug fix that I meant when it was on return damage and they decided to also put it in balance change. Fix an issue where Kabrakan ability will trigger when playing poisonous. Yeah, I mean that should still be a thing because it triggers when your opponent play a card. So if they play poisonous, that they're playing the card from their hand. So no, I think the bug was when the Hydra. When you played the Hydra and you had Kabrakan, it gives the card to your opponent, and when it gave the card to your opponent, it was activating it. Which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't take my word for that one, but I'm really not sure. And with some console bugs fixed, why not read them? So fix an issue where settings were not being saved when restarting the title on PS4. Fix an issue where players were unable to rename a deck immediately after previously renaming one, and fix an issue with cursor focus when re-entering the deck editor. Yeah, that's going to be the patch notes for the open beta patch of 0.32, the hunt. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming. There's a lot of new cards, like more than 15. I should probably count them. There's like deck search, filter, the gauntlet, bunch of balance changes, turn timers reduced. This is going to. I'm actually really hyped for that patch. Just try all of that. So many cool stuff, and even the balance patch just give you like. They really like. I feel like they understand what was strong and what was weak, and they like trying to put it in a middle ground again, and they're really doing an amazing job on that. So. Just a funny thing here that I'm realizing, guys. This is Artemis, right? She's not a legendary, but they put the legendary card frame with a rare gem on it. So it's kind of shouldn't be like that, but it's funny. Anyhow, guys, thank you for watching. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you like it. Just tell me in the comment, if if this was a little bit longer patch notes, but tell me in the comment how you feel about this patch. Again, gladly respond to you. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.